status, some star players in amongst them as well. If you've never watched a game of rugby league before, don't miss this one. And if you have, you know exactly what to expect, don't you? It's going to be an absolute cracker here today. This is the way they're lining up. Leeds without their effervescent scrum half Rob Burrow injured, and the electrifying fullback Brent Webb suspended, but Danny Maguire is in terrific form at the moment. Kevin Sinfield at standoff pulls the strings. Ali Lauatiti hasn't made it in the pack because of a calf injury. Jamie Peacock is on the bench, but we saw Carl Ablett in destructive form the last time the BBC cameras trained on Leeds in the last round at Hull. Amos Roberts back from a month-long layoff for Wigan. On his day, he's scintillating. Carl Price on the other wing has been in fairly good form recently as well. And in the forwards, well, the back row, Joel Tompkins has been terrific this season. His little brother Sam, as we heard, plays at standoff and has been the limelight player. But Joel is making real waves this term. And on the bench, the most surprising on either side, the name of Leeds is Jamie Peacock, 4 weeks earlier than expected. Well, we're looking forward to this, so is he. Phil Bentham is our referee today. We have a video referee too. Steve Ganson is the man in charge. Should have been bouncing here today, by the way. It would have been bouncing here today, but the cricket that was due to be played on the other side of the stands has limited the crowd size to a mere 10,000. It would have been packed to the rafters had it not been for that. And after all of that, of course, the cricket hasn't played. Here we go. Leeds have got a bit of ground to make up on Wigan in terms of the league standings, but on current form, these two are neck and neck. It's a humdinger in the making here today, John Keir.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute crackerjack of a game. Both teams are going to have to look after the ball because of the wet conditions. The kicking game is going to be vital, and also your back three, your Smith, Donalds, Halls, Richards, Roberts and Price are going to be instrumental in returning those balls from the kick. A great game in progress.
Here's Riddell out from dummy half, who was thinking about the kick but had to get it away. And Joel Tompkins is going to be tackled on the fifth, but inside their own 40. So a decent set from Leeds' defence, made even better by the buttery fingers of Luluai. Tompkins with a quick recovery. Leeds' defence swarms around them, and what a start for them. The handover 20 yards away from the Wigan line.
That's a great start from the Leeds Rhinos. They'll be delighted with that defensive effort. Pressure on Wigan throughout, but pressure especially on that last tackle.
So the first set of questions are going to have to be answered by Wigan, defending on their own line, as Leeds attempt to hurl everything at them, looking for the early advantage. Badeiras out from dummy half. Jones Buchanan back to Sinfield. Across the line it comes to Smith. In from the full-back's position, Lee Smith.
Just off the line.
Put down short. Sinfield. Inside to Delaney, the Australian. Had a decent start to the season, but had a bit of an injury interruption, but back he is now. It's Badeiras who waits at acting half again. It's Maguire with a little change of direction with a left-footed step. Not foxing the Wigan defence, and tackle 6 will have Sinfield putting the kick to the in-goal area. Perfectly placed, but well picked up by Amos Roberts, who could only run out of play. Drop out underneath the sticks. Full marks to Leeds at the start.
Well, that's 10 out of 10, isn't it, for the Leeds Rhinos? First of all, that defensive set, then some very enterprising attacking play, but with a lovely last tackle effort there. Kevin Sinfield just dabbed the ball into the in-goal area. Roberts does well to clear up, but look at the chase. 8 Leeds players chasing and pressurising Amos Roberts.
So real pressure here. It's a change of dynamics from Leeds' point of view. The slip by Smith means that when it's picked up by Luluai, it's a long way back. Yeah,
it just shows how important Pat Richards is to the Wigan team. Normally you'd be under the cosh with the drop out from the post. He's rocketed the balls deep inside the Leeds half.
There's Jones Buchanan just inside Wigan's territory. This is Badeiras. Ablett in support. Just staggering forward another stride or two. Badeiras. Jones Buchanan. Back to Maguire. Maguire thought about the long pass, then went short to Kirk. Wigan defenders are there in numbers. Still a couple of tackles to go here, but not quite the position they would have expected when the dropout was first conceded by Wigan. Senior looking for the offload, but in a very tight position. It's not where they would have chosen to play. Tackle 6, shifted to Sinfield. The high kick, Donalds after it. Price underneath it. Beat them all. Carl Price's heart's beating a little quicker than it should be.
Yeah, I'm sure the Wigan fans' hearts as well. Again, a testing kick there from Kevin Sinfield, inviting Scott Donald to contest it. But unfortunately for the Rhinos, it went adrift. But Wigan will be mightily relieved to get the ball in their hands once more. And Carl Price, we've spoken about his try-scoring expertise, but I'm certain he'll expect a bombardment in the air and some kicks behind him as well in general play during this game.
Shoulder went in. Welcoming Carl Price to Headingley. Last couple of games that Leeds have played, we've talked before about the poor start to the season that Leeds have had, but the last couple of weeks really has set a marker as to what they expect to do. Carmont with some tidying up to do. Wigan are very unassured at the moment, aren't they?
Well, Leeds are harassing them into some mistakes, and it's all credit to Rhinos, but clever play from O'Loughlin.
Here comes Price down this left-hand side, but there goes Donald with a sliding tackle. Trying to nudge him into touch with that success, and Price is a bit slow to his feet. Here's Riddell. Tompkins has to hurry the kick away.
Even though Sam Tompkins got the kick away, was under pressure, but that's a great chase there, once again led by Sean O'Loughlin, and Tompkins involved in that as well.
Oh, Leeds' turn to make the handling mistakes.
Well, credit to the Rhinos that they're still trying to play rugby in these conditions, but was it the smartest thing to do? And it's got with the soft error there, Ryan Hall, not under that much pressure, and this is the first real opportunity for the Warriors. And here's Carl Price. Slight injury there, did very well to stay in the field of play, but I'm sure that glance on the melon won't worry one as big as him.
He is the younger brother of Leon Price, isn't he, at St Helens? Carl Price. He's had so many injury problems over the past few years, but all the signs recently, last couple of weeks, are that he might be fulfilling a bit of his early potential. Oh, that's a decent position here for Wigan, though. It's Riddell out from acting half. Here's Luluai across the line to O'Loughlin. The gaps might be appearing, but not if Keith Senior's got anything to do with it. Tackle on Gleeson is good. Back to the middle they search. Oh, and O'Loughlin's dropped it. Well, it's an indication of the conditions they are playing in here today. It's been pouring with rain the whole morning.
Yeah, straightforward catch there from Sean O'Loughlin, and you'd put your mortgage on the fact that it reeled that in, but pressure from Lowlie. It's a real pressured game indeed, despite the conditions. Both defences putting the ball carriers under a great deal of intense pressure.
See from Robbie Paul, he's got an eye on the conditions out there. Robbie.
Well, this is one of the things in big games like this. It's not only the conditions, but it's also the nerves. Everybody's, defenses are trying to play in your face. You're playing under pressure, and when you're conditioned with the rain coming down, when it's slippery on top, it can add to what we've seen, 6 mistakes in 6 minutes.
So Leeds just doing the basics at the moment. One pass at most, as they try to make distance downfield. Jones Buchanan trying to get to his feet as quickly as he can. Here's Delaney. High from Bailey, I think it was.
Yeah.
Around the neck.
Well, composure, the element once again, Dave, and no doubt about it, Phil Bailey. High on the centre, Brett Delaney, and it's piggyback Leeds out of pressure, giving them a bit of good field position here to restart the set.
It's nearly your ball, that, Kiri. Came your way. Here comes Ablett, leading the charge for Leeds.
Move! Hold!
So a set now inside their opponent's half. Jones Buchanan looked one way, through the other. Clever little eyes, but not clever with the hands because it's been knocked on.
Well, it's an error-strewn beginning to the game. We'll put it down to conditions, we'll also put it down to pressure, and I'm with Robbie Paul as well. There's an element of nervousness in there as well because it's a big game.
It's a huge game, absolutely huge game. Whoever wins this would quite rightly consider themselves as certainly one of the favourites to go all the way to Wembley. St Helens, Warrington, Bradford, Catalan, battling. Bradford Bulls amongst those who would suggest otherwise.
Hold, go.
Quite some story if Batley did get to Wembley, though. It's Bailey out to Carmon on this left-hand side. Price had left it behind, but good hands outstretched and catches it and takes it back inside the Leeds half. So promising position. Here's Carmon again now. Back to Bailey. Bailey to O'Loughlin. This is good handling in these conditions. Really is sticking at pace. Riddell. Behind the dummy run of Coley. Across from Tompkins to Luluai. And here's Richards injecting himself into the line from fullback. Senior again with a tackle. Ragdoll-like. Dragging him down. The grand old man of the Leeds side. Luluai steps away from the chasers. Puts the kick in. That's a good one. Donald's taking it behind the goal line. So it will be... oh, I was going to say it was a tap on the 20, but the referee says no. Body taking it on the full behind the goal line.
I would agree with you, Dave. I thought there was an element there. It was tap 20, but he's just said, let's get on with the game. And Lee Smith under pressure there from Tompkins. And just look at this Wigan defence. Very aggressive, very physical. Perhaps a little too much so.
The man in the middle there, Ryan Bailey, trying to sort things out. That's a big, big hit. But the feet were off the ground and just through the perpendicular, and that's not allowed. See what the referee has to say here.
Ryan, back off a second. Okay. Who's the man on the legs?
Coley's on the legs.
Coley's on the legs. Right, no problem.
Yeah. The reason everyone's running is because Bailey's the first man after it, but you've already given the penalty against Coley. That's all it is.
Okay. No problem, Steve. I'll call Andy because we know it's in. Andy!
So Andy Coley is the man who's guilty of getting in with the legs and pulling them through the perpendicular. Watch here, just lifting him up, and as soon as the legs get above the head, that's an illegal tackle.
Yep, it was a dangerous tackle, and I thought the referee there, Phil Bentham, handled that very well indeed. You can see here the legs are lifted above the horizontal. It does put Brett Delaney in a dangerous position. The Leeds players knew that they responded, but Phil Bentham, he's now taking charge of the situation completely, and put that on report. So the judiciary will be having a look at Andy Coley's role in that incident.
Anything happens in the game.
Word from the Wigan coach, Michael Maguire. Sean Wayne, the man alongside him. He was a player at Wigan and of Leeds, of course. Sean Wayne, he finished his career here at Leeds, didn't he? Sinfield puts the ball out of play.
Yeah, it's a dangerous tackle there, and it was Coley mainly in control, and understandable reaction because you do look after your teammates, and when you're wound up in a Challenge Cup quarter-final, that does happen.
Leeds are dominating possession at the moment and continue to dominate because another penalty.
2 lads.
And they're going to go for goal.
Yeah, well, offside, he could have picked. It was anyone of however many's in the defensive line there. And Phil Bentham's given Kevin Sinfield the penalty, and Sinfield taking charge as all good captains do. And he's just said, we'll get the tins on the scoreboard rolling, because it won't be rolling in the on the cricket side.
It's all done digitally these days, you know, they don't do tins.
Is that right, Dave?
Yeah. Kevin Sinfield with a chance to put the first 2 points.
Yep. Keep working with them now.
Big electric scoreboard to our left. Leeds dominating possession at the moment with 11.5 minutes played. They've had twice as much ball as Wigan have had so far, very nearly.
Stand still. Stand still.
So Kevin Sinfield for the first 2 points of the match. Normally eminently kickable, this. But with the rain and a bit of a wind, it makes it a bit more difficult. He's hit the upright, it's still all on. Taken superbly by Smith. And it will be another 6 here for Leeds to attack the line.
What a big play there from Lee Smith. That's enthusiasm for you, and no little skill as well.
Kirk with a drive in, rattling into position 8 yards away. Wigan desperately retreating onto their line here because they're under pressure. Here's Baderas, out to Sinfield. Sinfield has a look on the inside, tries on his own. And 3 around him in cherry and white will pull him down and swap him round. Maguire catches, looks, has a little bit of a scamper, but Bailey says you're going nowhere. And the referee says you're all offside. Penalty Leeds.
Offside. 2 feet.
Have to have 2 feet behind the line.
Well, where the referee stands.
If you don't succeed the first time, try, and try again.
Yep. Yeah, Sam.
So Kevin Sinfield once again indicating we'll take the 2. There's the offside call. And I believe he got the call from the touch judge. I think a bit of assistance there in the earpiece from the touch judge.
Yeah, people watching that will say, well, he had his back to the player, but of course, in this modern age of technology, then they're all wired up for sound. Touch judge doesn't have to wave his flag anymore, does he? He just has a quiet word in the referee's ear.
So there's no tins on the scoreboard, and they're wired up with the officials as well, Dave. My word.
It's all changed since your day. Kevin Sinfield with a second penalty attempt. He's hit the post again! He's hit the post again, and Price will take it. And this time Wigan do clear the lines. What kind of odds would you have had on that?
Long ones. It's a relief for Wigan, it really is. They just need to look after the ball for this set and get a front foot kick to get some territory.
Well, the most famous post hitting of all time by Kevin Sinfield was that kick at Cardiff a few years ago, wasn't it? When in the Millennium Weekend he hit the post with the last kick of the game that would have tied the game. Hit the post, Leeds caught it. I think it was Kirk who scored the try that day, wasn't it?
Jordan Tansey.
Jordan Tansey, was it? Anyway, that's all history.
5, move, hold, and wait.
McLaughlin wants it played quickly, appealing to the referee. Out to Tompkins. Tompkins with a kick downfield between winger and fullback. And it skids and rolls and teases, and Hall picks up and runs it back. And look how good that Wigan chase is. 10 yards from their own line, Leeds are put down.
Well, we spoke about the kick chase. That was an outstanding kick from Tompkins. When you think that Wigan received the ball a metre from their own line, and they've turned it over 10 metres away from the Leeds line. What a great kick.
This is high quality you're watching, folks. It really is. It's not the champagne style you might get on a dry, sunny day. But it is very good. What they're doing is very good in these conditions.
Hold, go for.
Badiris from dummy half, looking left again.
5, move, hold, go. Good set, Sean.
Here's Maguire. He's going to kick
He's clear.
early and deep. Let's let Wigan carry the ball. See if they can do it safely. So back comes Price. Jones Buchanan measuring him up for the big hit, but he bounced off.
And hold, go.
Richards out from dummy half.
2, move, hold, go.
There's Commons. Shouldering up.
Move, hold, go.
Muscling their way forward, getting yards, vital yards, with every little carry of the ball, so at some point they can erupt into action. Tompkins piling the pressure on. Lulai sees the gap. Senior's missed him. Back to Tompkins. Forward pass. Just when it looked like they'd unpicked them.
Well,
forward pass.
We've spoken about the both sets of players being ready to play. I'll tell you what, these officials are ready to officiate as well. Phil Bentham really is on the ball, on top of his game today. No messing about. Deemed the passes forward.
Teams, stay on the mark when you're playing the ball.
Rule the infringement.
Moving forward.
And it's in there. Lovely shift here. And Lowline at this point just props onto Kesey in his inside shoulder, opens it up, but the offload is forward. You can see that with the direction of the hand. Great refereeing there from Phil Bentham.
So Leeds look to bring it clear.
Move and hold, go.
And Ablett trying to do it too. Tanya Arnold is down with a man who wishes he was playing today. Rob Burrow, Tanya.
Yes, indeed he does. Rob, how tough to sit this one out.
Yeah, it's really tough. These are the sort of games you want to be involved in, but unfortunately you can't. So you've just got to sort of do your part and support the boys as much as you can.
What do you make of what you've seen so far?
Oh, it's going to be a tight game. Obviously, the conditions are going to, restrict the skill on show. But I think the team that makes less errors and gets more deep kicks in the opposing half will win this game.
Slightly surprised to see Kevin Sinfield miss 2 kicks on the bounce. Doesn't happen often, does it?
It's uncharacteristic of him. But Kev's a great player. He'll bounce back. I'm pretty sure he's one of the guys who'll come on and win a game with a goal kick from there on.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
Cheers, thank you.
First.
Here's Price bringing it away.
Hold, go.
Sinfield's kick. His kicking against Bradford last week, he was the second half. He just absolutely kicked Bradford today. The high attacking kicks to begin with, and then the raking kicks for position later in that half, and he'll be key to them again today.
Go.
Here's Riddell. Little dummy. And the man they call Piggy. Look at his body shape if you're wondering about the nickname.
Go 4.
Luluai. His dad played in what they claim is the best Wembley final of all time back in 1985. He just rolled it out of play. He wasn't born, he was born 6 weeks later after that final.
Better, Sean.
And his dad
Hold.
was playing, James was playing for the Hull side, who lost 28-24 to Wigan.
His dad was a very good player, but he's no bad player himself, Tommy Luluai. And it's the challenge is thrown down now to Leeds. Are you good enough to clear your own end by looking after the football and getting the kicking in the end of it?
Hold. Go.
Here's Badeiras out from acting half again to Maguire, and off they go through Jones Buchanan, who's lost it. And the referee says knocked on.
Lost on impact.
Might have been a hint of a hand in there from Tompkins, but the ref says knock on.
Again, though, it's the speed of the defensive line, isn't it, Dave? As the ball moves there, it's Joel Tompkins who's in there. Good shoulder contact. Nothing illegal about that. That forced the error. So it was a loose carry, and once again Phil Bentham has got it right. But that defensive effort from Joel Tompkins has given Wigan this field position in which to build a little more pressure.
Here we go, lads, let's get going.
And it's not beyond reason that younger brother is Logan, isn't it? It's not beyond possibility that we could have 3 Tompkins players playing for England in years to come. There could be a few Burgesses in there as well. There's Wigan untidily keep possession. Here's Roberts, who before his injury, by the way, was absolutely in scintillating form. Amos Roberts, 12 tries in 10 games.
Move!
And scoring some real blinders as well. Knock on. Big error. Leeds handed possession back.
Yeah, Paul Prescott, wasn't it?
They're both away from the ball, Paul. No.
Just come on from the interchange bench and be very, very disappointed with that there. You really have got to be very careful indeed when you're bringing the ball back into play with a play the ball. It wasn't. He lost it. And Leeds are off the hook.
But again, with a job to do, here comes Senior. Not risking the pass.
Move! Hold, go.
Taking it in himself. Well, that's great footwork. That really is good footwork from a big man.
Move! And hold.
Dancing one way or another, just gaining an extra few yards there, Ablett. Bailey.
Third.
Little more no-nonsense in his style.
Hold, go, 3.
Badeiras. And look who's on the pitch, Peacock, Jamie Peacock. We weren't expecting to see him back for another 4 weeks with the injury he had. Well, they're back knee injury, big hits going in.
Hold, go.
And Greg Eastwood's also out there as well, Dave, who's been in good form in recent weeks. High kick to Price.
Taken again. They are targeting Carl Price, aren't they? I suspect that's also because the man on the other wing is Amos Roberts.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad move, but this time it's the Rhinos are a little too eager there, and Richards is trying to pick the tempo of the game up now.
Yep. Hold, lads.
I think Brett Dillon is trying to slow it down.
Let's go now.
Come up with a tap. Here comes Bailey. Sinfield meets him, helped by Delaney, and they push him back. It's a win for the defence.
Hold, go.
Everybody back where they need to be in the Leeds line. It's Prescott.
2. Move. Hold. Wait.
Riddell, 15 yards out behind field, and Tompkins along to Luluai. Luluai just holds it up. No way through.
Magnificent tackle there from Jones Buchanan. Shouldered under the ball, picked him up and drove him back.
Riddell off again. Back it goes to Tompkins. Look at that step. Oh, Peacock nearly took his head off. It was an old prop forward's reaction to a young standoff who'd stepped in.
Take him away.
But there's trouble here for Jamie Peacock.
No, that was accidental, that. I'm pretty certain of that. It's that magnificent left foot set from Sam Tompkins. Totally wrong-footed him. It's a grab, really. Hand Alton, he's just wrong-footed him. A penalty is the correct decision, but for me, there shouldn't be anything more than that.
That's a case of where did he go? Oh, that's where he went. Absolutely mercurial from young Sam Tompkins. And Jamie Peacock gets a word from the referee. And Wigan have the penalty right in front of the sticks. He'll pop a few of those in his time, won't he, Sam Tompkins? Simply because of the way he steps away from players.
Well, it's a magnificent left foot step, and it really does. It's a 90 degrees change of direction. And when you're a big man, and Jamie Peacock is a big man, and you're wrong-footed, the arm goes out, and
Which Tompkins was it?
it was just a misplaced swing of the arm. But a penalty is exactly the correct decision from Mr. Bentham, and I'll take Richards to convert this one.
I think we just heard Phil Bentham saying, which Tompkins was it? Well, there's only one Tompkins on the field that can step like that. Richards between the sticks, no post hitting from the Wigan goal kicker, and Wigan have the lead with 23 minutes played. 2 points to nil. First points of the game.
It's been a very, very even game, hasn't it? Defence has dominated, which we expected in conditions like this. Possession virtually even Stevens, territory virtually even Stevens.
Ready?
It's a great game.
You don't need basketball and tries at either end to make a great game. You can sometimes have attrition and big hits like that make a great game.
And big hits like that and great carries like that as well.
2, go!
Leeds' defence is piling forward here.
3,
Tompkins
go!
just trying to wrestle a bit more yardage for Wigan. Here comes O'Loughlin.
Move! Here, go, 4.
Riddell.
5.
Yeah, they've got a bit of game speed in that set up. The Wigan, they've cleared their own half there simply through quick play the balls and determined ball carries.
Tompkins puts the kick through. Smith with a job to do. First one is to catch it cleanly, has done.
Stay on.
He's got away from the first tackle and the second. Takes a third to eventually put him down.
Move! Hold, go!
It's Donald from acting half. Ryan Hall. The back's getting involved here just to lift a bit of the work rate from their forward shoulders.
Go, 2. Third. Move! Here. Go, 3.
Sinfield.
4. Move! And hold. Go.
Diskin on for the bench out from acting half.
5.
Tackle 5.
Move.
Sees
Go,
Leeds just
5,
short of the
5.
halfway. So Maguire will
Kicker
kick.
clear.
Over the head of Richards. Safely enough with a catch. Chase in blue and amber is decent. And a hit by Kirk. Let's hear from Tanya, who's down on the touchline again.
Yeah, and Steve Hansen with me, who's part of the coaching staff here at Wigan. Steve, been watching you, and you've been jumping up and down, shouting and screaming at them.
Yeah, I still get fired up for the games. It's very intense at this moment in time. Treacherous weather, but a great game.
One for the defences, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. I just think Wigan are on top slightly there because they're defending very well. They're doing what they needed. They're turning them on the backs, and it's a very, very exciting game.
So feeling confident down here.
Well, you're never confident at Leeds. I mean, Leeds got to go in favourites, but yeah, quietly confident.
Steve, thanks very much.
Thank you.
That was a forward pass. Carmel's got away with it. Or Loughlin's got away with it.
Magnificent defence, though, isn't it, there from the Leeds Rhinos?
Richards with a kick.
10.
Ball's underneath it. It swirls, but he's taken it safely enough. And back he comes. And a bit of space found. Blew away with a tackle.
That's an immense play, I'll tell you, in these conditions. A spiral bomb there from Pat Richards. High on the ball throughout from Rhino, and interest on the return.
This is fantastic stuff as Delaney inside that Wigan half is pulled down. Oh, he's given a penalty for Wigan.
Can't do that. That's poor though. You can't tag him off.
For dragging off the Wigan defender.
Yeah, I think Keith Senior a little over enthusiastic there, and the tackle's complete. A very good shoulder contact from Carmen, and then Senior trying to speed the ball up with illegal intervention, shall we say.
Well, the rain at the moment is driving across into the faces of the Leeds players. It's not the heaviest rain, but it is significant. And it's a knock on by Bailey. The conditions are helping make this not the most skillful of games, but certainly the most absorbing, if you'll forgive the pun, because it really is terrific stuff. Every day is a beautiful day. It's just that sometimes we're beneath the clouds. And today, we're beneath the clouds.
It's a magnificent game, though, isn't it, Dave? That's what I love about rugby league. You get the Suns on the back and the firm surfaces, and the ball flies about the field with great skills. When it's conditions like this, you have to rein that in. You have to play a different type of game, but it's still equally as absorbing and equally as fascinating.
Go well back.
Diskinat from acting half, and Peacock catches and drives it in. And Robbie Paul should be thoroughly wet through at the moment, down on that touchline.
It is very wet down on the touchline, but I tell you this, the game just seems to have taken another level. The first 20 minutes of this game, they were just feeling each other out, trying to get an understanding of the game. And a big thing that I think is a good sign of respect for both teams, with the amount of offensive talent that there is out there, both teams are choosing to take shots at goal when they're getting penalties in the opposition's half.
Hold 0, go.
One of them scored, Richards. And if you're late joining us, Sinfield has hit the post twice.
Wait, go. Well done.
With penalty attempts. 2-0 Wigan lead. Here comes Fielden.
Surrender! Stand, 2, go.
McLaurin. It's Luluai. Oh, my word. Have a bit of that.
Hold 3, wait. Go 3.
Jamie Peacock with a big shoulder. This is Carmon. Carmon trying to make a bit of space here for his winger Price, but well covered by the Leeds defence.
Okay.
Bailey's across quickly, but Price was there at dummy half. This is Tompkins with a little chip to the corner. Donald's running into a cul-de-sac. Just about gets back into the field of play.
Good wing play. Great work offensively from Wigan there. Generated game speed. Little chip kick over the back, but great work from Donald and then Lee Smith to clear their own line.
It's Hall.
Third.
The winger. In the middle again, looking for a bit of the action. It's a game that is sapping the energy from both sides.
4. Move. Wait. Go.
Diskin. Some Eastwood with the offload, giving it away, taken by Coley. And Coley drives it back again.
And the ball's gone loose again.
Penalty Wigan.
He knows it.
Not a question of doubt in that guy's mind there. Blew the whistle and said he knows it. And again, it'll be Pat Richards taking the pop at goal. And it's Ian Kirk. Yep. Attack the ball in the defence there and just use the arm to lever it free. And the consequence, penalty to Wigan, and Pat Richards with his second attempt.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen some terrific hits, some really big tackles in this game. Tony Luluai felt the shoulder of Jamie Peacock. What about this one for a hit? Bang!
Yeah,
that was Maguire as well, wasn't it?
Maguire in there, shoulder contact. Peacock in there, shoulder contact. And Luluai saying, my word, I'll use a bit of footwork next time.
Richards keeps his 100% kicking record, his second of the afternoon. And 4 points to 0. Wigan now lead. These little inches that Wigan are gaining here through the penalties could prove vital at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's not going to be many points today with the conditions and with both teams so inclined to defend so aggressively and put so much pressure on the ball carriers. But there certainly is going to be a great game, Dave.
I don't feel sorry for Tommy Luluai, by the way, because he dishes it out, doesn't he, with a shoulder. He's a big hitter for a little bloke. Not many people like running at him. So every now and again he has to take it.
2. Move. Hold.
There's McLaurin.
Matt, straight off him.
Sam Tompkins out to Bailey. Bailey threatening to make the break, but Peacock grabbing hold.
Move. Hold. Goal 3.
Leeds defence just targeting McLaurin, just sizing him up and putting him down.
Hold. Goal 4.
Luluai with a kick. Now, if this bounces out of play, well, it's not going to do, is it? Oh, it might do. No, it won't. Lee Smith is there, but if it had, it would have been head and feet to Wigan. But as it is, it's Leeds' ball.
Yeah, lost his foot in there, Lee Smith, trying to bring it back. But once again, a very good kick, finding the ground, the ball skipping on. But the most impressive thing to me, Dave, is this Wigan chase. Absolutely outstanding. And that's how tight the game is. Possession 50-50, territory just inching its way Wigan's way, and that may well be down to that kick chase game of the Warriors.
Well, 12 minutes gone and Leeds were up at 65% possession, so they have really been pegged back. Another knock on, Peacock this time.
Yeah.
You're having a laugh, aren't you, referee?
Swinging his.
Or words to that effect.
Okay.
Well, it isn't the first this afternoon, and it won't be the last. And the referee got it right again. I'm worrying about myself, Dave, praising these referees.
You've not got him next week, have you? He's not your referee
Head right down.
next week against Leeds. You've got a big match here, haven't you? Wakefield at Leeds next week.
Yeah, I hope it goes into extra time, this, and the last minute of the 20 minutes with a golden point.
First.
That's Richards.
Move. Hold.
This is Carmont. And here's Bailey, standing start.
2. Move.
Look at the position they've got here now. Options left and right, most of them to the right. So Tompkins to Luluai. That was forward. Not given.
Move. And hold.
But here they come, edging closer. A bit too many afters after the tackle from Maguire. Penalty goes to Wigan.
2.
Yeah, there's the penalty's given for him straddling the player as the player's attempted to regain his feet and play the ball, but very difficult for Danny Maguire because Tompkins actually slipped as he received the ball. But as the rules of the game are, you cannot straddle the tackle player, and that's what Danny Maguire had done.
Just on the line,
and that's why Pat Richards will be going for goal 3 from 3 attempts.
Just take him to the line.
He's Australian of origin, but he has played for Ireland at international level. Pat Richards, these days, it doesn't seem to matter where you're born, does it? In any sport. Richards to the right of the sticks, 20 yards out, normally eat and drink. And should be again here. There it goes. He's like a metronome with his kicking. And Wigan leads 6-0 thanks to Richards' third penalty of the afternoon.
Yeah, and I think that just reflects the territory that Wigan have had. They've got 3 penalties in kickable opportunities, all converted by Pat Richards. Leeds have had 2, which were pretty early on, and both hit the post from Kevin Sinfield.
With Coley. James Buchanan leading the defensive efforts for Leeds, who will be desperate to keep Wigan.
Hold, Jamie.
Oh, he's lost it again. Oh, Coley's furious. And he's given away a penalty. No, well, you suspect he was furious with himself, not with the decision.
That's correct, though. Dave, that is absolutely bang on correct. You cannot kick the ball away, throw it away, anything like that. And that act of petulance from Andy Coley will give Sinfield his 3rd opportunity. And I'm going to say whether I expect him to kick it or not, but Andy Coley furious with himself. But I'll tell you what, his teammates have every right to be as furious with him as well.
Well, the booing you can hear is not for the decision or for Coley's reaction. It's for this, because Kevin Sinfield's elected to kick for goal. The Leeds fans want to see this ball handled. A try scored, but this is the right decision, isn't it?
It is the right decision. If you put a blue and amber shirt on out there and attempt to score some points against that red and white defensive line, it ain't as easy as it looks.
If he hits the post a 3rd time here, it will be uncanny. Between them this time. And Leeds have their first points. And it narrows now. They know trying a goal would give them the lead. Having hit the post once, and having hit the post twice, he's finally successful with the 3rd attempt.
But it will not worry Kevin Sinfield one iota that, you know, he's so focused and he's just in the moment when he's playing. And if it comes right down to the golden point extra time and he was given the opportunity to kick a penalty, I'd still back him to kick it.
It was that famous one against St Helens, wasn't it, in the semi-final a few years ago, and he kicked one off the touchline with the very last kick of the game to take it to extra time. And there's the ball that's bounced out of play. Leeds stood and watched. It's a dropout underneath the sticks. They put pressure on themselves here by not being decisive. But that man is an expert at kicking off.
Well, I was going to dispute about the put pressure on themselves. I think Pat Richards put pressure on them with this restart. Well, he spoke about his drop kick restart. Look at this for a kick-off restart. How do you catch that? Is it going to hit the crossbar? Is it going to hit the posts? and it just caused confusion, went dead, and the skill level there from that restart has allowed Wigan to reclaim the ball 40 metres away from the Leeds goal line.
If that had been Phil Mickelson with an 8-iron, he'd have been proud of that, wouldn't he?
Goal.
But the boot
Jamie,
of Richards is just as good.
2.
And now for the muscular stuff as Wigan try to work their way back towards that Leeds line. McAlorum, Luluai, having fully recovered from that big hit he took earlier.
Hold, lads. Hold. Goal. 3.
McAlorum. It's Coley. It's Tompkins. It's Bailey.
4.
Couple of tackles left in this set here.
Hold. Goal. 4.
Wigan are 25 yards out. Here's Coley again. Direct shot. Hammered down by Eastwood.
My word. Eastwood there really put the shoulder into Coley.
Tackle 6, so high it goes. Tompkins, up it comes, back, missed. Who's going to beat up Tompkins? Sam Tompkins thinks he might have scored here. The referee is simply not sure. So he's putting the square in the air and says to the video referee, Steve Ganson, you decide.
Well, I think that's wise as well, because it's a great end of set play with a high kick in these conditions. And the kick from Tompkins puts everybody on side by following the kick, challenges. And is it knocked on there by Joel before brother Sam picks it up and crosses? And then does Sam ground it?
Well, I was going to say, I think this is all about the grounding, isn't it? I know the way the video referees do it, they go it step by step. They'll have a look at the offside, then they'll have a look at the knock-on, and then they'll have a look at the grounding. Oh, that looks... Well, that went forward off the body. It might have landed behind him, but it surely went forward off the body, didn't it? Technical issue, but it might all be cleared up here, because if he's not put it down, it's no try. He's not put it down, has he? No. He's not got that down.
If he puts that ball down, he's a magician.
Well, they have the video of the doubt option if they're not sure, but I think that's fairly clear-cut that is not a try. That's not a try. Held up. Good defending from Leeds. And they pushed him back as well, so it should be
4 Leeds defenders there. But you've got to admire that commitment, and it's been a physically draining half, but 4 guys in there to defend. Tompkins hasn't grounded the ball. How do we restart? We'll find out.
No try, we knew that. Handover. It was a 6th tackle, apparently.
Dead ball. Wait. Okay, mate. Time on.
So Leeds having escaped that little scare with a couple of minutes of the half remaining. Still trailing, still wait to see our first try.
But that's how the tries are going to come, you know, Dave. You're going to have to earn field position, and it's going to be a kick play or something like that that's going to open up these defences, because the commitment to defence from both sides is absolutely first class.
On the foot. Go. Holding it out.
There's Tompkins, short ball, Peacock. That's what he does. He'll do that all day. Just smash it forward, Jamie Peacock. Carry it through. Lead his side by inspiration and example. Maguire, flat, Applets.
2. Move. Go.
There's Maguire down that blind side, and Senior. Position from where he loves to burst, that left flank. Jones Buchanan stepping, lined up by Luluai, in with a shoulder.
Hold the 10, Wigan. Go. 4.
This is Diskin. Peacock again. Up to the line and then back to Sinfield. Dummies to Eastwood. Over the top it goes. Delaney has to stretch.
Yeah,
Wigan's defence has scrambled back into position, so there's no way through. Penalty. Presumably offside here.
Yep.
And he was looking for the advantage, was he?
I believe that's the signal that is given.
Sean, Andy.
And he did, as you rightly say, he let the play unfold, Dave, and saw if there's any advantage.
No, the ball's been passed, it's a deliberate hit in the back of the guy.
Oh.
OK, it's a penalty here. You've got to sort
He's
this.
it for a late tackle.
He has.
Right in the back.
Right in the back, as he says.
Sorted out, Keith.
Well, here's the incident.
Oh,
and there it is.
No
Andy Coley once again.
Wasn't much in that, was there?
He's passed the ball, Dave.
It's a man's game, John.
You can't pass the ball and then just tackle somebody. It's illegal, and he's given it.
Well, he was running towards him and he couldn't stop himself, and he's just run into him. He couldn't stop himself.
Are your glasses red and white?
Do it football style if I've got to.
Kevin Peacock's 4th penalty attempt of the day. This to narrow the gap to 2. There it goes. He's finding his range now. It's Leeds 4, Wigan 6. As half-time looms.
Getting the wall back, isn't it?
Well, what a cracking game we've got here. 6-4, and all the stats you could keep. I'm sure that as near as you could possibly have, as near as the scoreboard is. So
not many games of rugby league that you'll see an entire half pass without a try being scored. That all the points are coming from penalties, but this is still a terrific game. And there's more to come. Oh, Maguire's lost it. Tompkins darts in, picked up by Carmont. Wigan have play on and prime position. 6 tackles to hammer this Leeds line from here. They might not have the time, it's ticking away. So desperately across the line, it'll be the last play of the half. Tompkins, out it goes, back from Gleeson, not going to get through, and the hooter will sound, and stop Wigan in their tracks, and maybe save Leeds' skins. But a thrilling end to what has been a terrific half.
Yeah, I think that restart from Richards again demonstrated how to play this game. Get it deep in the opposition half, look for the errors and then try to capitalise upon that. And that little passage of play summed it up perfectly. But what a great 40 minutes of rugby league.
Half-time, Leeds 4, Wigan 6.
Different sides of the Pennines, different sides of the pitch they came out from on a murky, moist, miserable day. Mistakes were the order of the first half. Very difficult conditions in a tense, high-pressure situation. Scoring not easy, and given the chance to take 2 penalties, Sinfield bounced off the side posts twice. Wigan eventually got the first points on the board with a penalty. Big hits all round. Pat Richards again, he was 3 out of 3 for the first half. It's been exhausting stuff. It'll be survival of the fittest and the strongest. It is Leeds 4, Wigan 6 at half-time, but Wigan were on the rush in the dying seconds there. You could argue that Leeds were saved by the hooter. It's very tight, it's very tense. It's going to be an interesting second half. No tries as yet. All the points coming from the boot. Sinfield 2 from 4 and Richards 3 from 3. It's 4-6.
I have to say, Claire, we're slightly jealous of you up in your nice, warm and dry studio. Conditions not great, are they, Robbie?
No, it's throwing it down here, and it's really affecting the way the rugby league is being played out there. Everybody's having to keep it tight. There's a lot of ball being put down, and I think it's changed the nature of the game. The first 15 minutes, I think you saw the team starting to throw the ball around a little bit. They're putting down the ball a lot. I think the game's tightening quite up. And there's one thing that I mentioned during the game that I think is showing each other quite a lot of respect, at the fact that each time they get a penalty in the opposition's half, they're choosing to take the shot at goal.
Interestingly, Michael Maguire has been talking about his defence in the last couple of weeks, hasn't he? That Wigan have been leaking a few too many points, but their defence has been very solid, hasn't it?
I think the Wigan defence has been fantastic today. Now, the commentary team's been talking about their kick chase, but one of the great things about it also is that their kickers have been able to, the kicks have been able to find the ground. And each time the ball skips on the ground, it basically means that the defensive line can get an extra 5-10 metres forward and put the runner returning the ball back under even more pressure. And I think that's what, at the moment, the Leeds kickers actually, the ball's going to hand, it's going straight into the hands of the Wigan fullback. They've been able to get the ball back and play more proactively in the Leeds half, that is to say. So I think defensively Wigan have been outstanding, but both teams have. That's why the scoreboard is as it is.
Robbie, we'll let you go and get a nice cup of tea.
Thank you very much.
Could be worse. It could be cold as well as wet. It's quite warm out there, though. Have a look at some of these match stats. The errors made very high, and we've talked already about the conditions being so difficult. And the penalties conceded as well. Leeds have conceded 5. Wigan have conceded 7. The total possession, well, that changed after 15 minutes, and Wigan coming out fractionally on top across the half. And the same with territory. Leeds had the upper hand in the early stages, but Wigan coming through the strong. What do you make of it, Jonathan Davis and Brian Noble?
I think possession, that's just down to errors, I think. And the territory is because I think Wigan have got the best kicking game. They've got a longer kicking game, they've got a better, the chase is good, and that's right. So it's very, very close. And you know, mistakes might have a big influence on this game, but it's a very, very tough encounter, as we've seen.
And both of you were saying beforehand that it would be. For people maybe who are sitting at home on a horrible day, they're flicking through the TV channels, they're watching this match. Brian, tell us why this is good rugby league, even though the score is low.
Well, you know, you get a fair share of the ball, and that's what you want, and you have to do your fair share of defence as well, and what we find in rugby league is that they do it pretty good. If you're watching out there, you're going, ouch, ouch, I wouldn't want to be involved in that. There's a lot of impact. It's a high impact spectacle today because of the conditions, so they're investing. When the other team's got the ball, you've got to do it to the best of your ability as well, and we've seen two teams that are prepared to invest in bending their backs, scramble defence, as we've seen. Leeds have had to scramble several times. You know, they'll be talking about that, about establishing, as they did in the first 7 minutes, some field position where they can look a bit more flashy.
And I suppose, Jonathan, it's easy enough for us to appreciate good attacking rugby union or league, but it's harder to appreciate good defence. And for the purists, this is all about defence.
Yeah, with the conditions as they are, you're not going to get many tries, and you know, the one try, you know, might be the difference. But again, I think that Wigan have been better at, you know, we call them exit sets out of their own 20-metre.
It was a nervy start, and we're having a look here at a lot of the mistakes. I mean, it's difficult handling the ball in these conditions, and I suppose, Brian, when it's wet as well, you're trying to keep things tighter, and that makes it hard for everybody.
You talk about shortening your game up, but what's pleasing about this, even with the condition, I don't think both teams, the way they've practiced in the drive through the week is there for all to see, and I think that's what's calling a few of the mistakes that are coming out there. Leeds obviously want to try and get around Wigan. You can see that with the width of their passes, but there comes a risk with that in this weather. Yeah. So that's when we talk about shortening the game up, and that probably suited Wigan because of the quality of their kicking game. They won't change the way they want to play Leeds, but they certainly haven't shown the same kind of prowess that Wigan have shown in the attacking last 30 metres of the game.
But also, what you've got to do is you'll have a little general, you know, Tompkins or Maguire or Sinfield, and what they will do is they'll be snapping behind their forwards, going, look, don't throw the wide passes, don't give it wide, make any mistakes. Take it up the middle, get into a kicking position, and then just welly it down there.
But that's exactly what Brian McLennan was just alerting. I saw his body language and
he was so animated, wasn't he? Compared to Michael Maguire,
you need a few more players at the middle to get forward for a bit of field position so we can kick ourselves into the right part of the field.
I love seeing these shots because the energy. You look at McLennan; he's really trying to gesticulate. Well, he is gesticulating. Whereas Maguire's much more laid back and being calmer.
But they don't need to do those passes. If the more passes you put in these conditions, the greater the chance of making a mistake. You know, all the mistakes are made from contact or big hits. So.
Well, the team that's going to win this game is going to be the brave team that's actually going to have to put a pass play on at the right time. So Leeds won't change their mentality. No. But they need to change their mentality a little bit, getting out their own half.
Leeds are passing more in their own 20 coming out of it, whereas Wigan look threatening.
These are the big hits of the first half. You talked, Brian, earlier about how people watching this are just going, ouch. I mean, it has been really physical.
Well, it has, and the conditions make it that way. And I think we've seen a little bit of compassion and emotion from both teams. Tompkins has got into a few people. Kylie Luluai and Jamie Peacock have got into a few people. You know, this is high stakes that we're playing for, and you know, Maguire and Peacock on Tommy Luluai there as well. They won't give any quarter, but neither will any person ask any quarter either.
And it's amazing that they'll all come out for the second half and they'll just shake it off and get on with it. Well, Wigan were pretty close to scoring a couple of times right at the end of the first half, and also through Thomas Luluai here, and this actually is where Sam Tompkins ends up nearly getting his head taken off.
Yeah, I just think, look, is this forward or not? He's in a great position. Look, there's the pass. It is forward. Referee's in a great position. This is it, you know. Again, they look far more threatening, I feel. There we are.
They do look threatening, Jonathan, you're right. You know, when you've got Tompkins in your team, and both Tompkins and Luluai and Riddell, and I just think their kicking game's just been a bit better than
Exactly. Well, let's have a look at the kicking, because the kick chase is the important thing. The kick needs to be good, but you need to be after it.
This is a fantastic kick, you know, but if the ball's in the air for 50 yards, right, you'd expect the fullback to take it. Again, great kick again. Watch the chase. That's a 70-metre kick, OK? It stops. He's got to take it out. Just look where the chase is. He doesn't make the 10-metre line. That's a great, great chase. And then this again, he's aiming for the post, at the upright or the crossbar. you have to take it. Again, the ball's in the air. You don't stand that side of the post. You stand the other side of the post. Because if it hits the crossbar, you're not in it. And again, the variety of the kick, and he drops it.
Yeah, I think one of Pat Richards' greatest assets are his kicking game, from restarts particularly. You know, some of the best players. He can actually land that ball on the crossbar at times. So when Leeds and Kevin Sinfield took the kick at 6-2, I'm thinking, a couple of minutes to go. I'm not too sure that's as smart a move as you think with Pat Richards' kick-off. And you have to count
and they nearly did score, didn't they?
Well, they surely do. Well, they hadn't had any ball at that end of the field at that time, and I thought, couple of minutes to go, they're going to have to score a try. One team's going to have to score a try here. I think Wigan looked the more threatening, and I think it would have been good for Leeds to test their arm there and perhaps say, well, yeah, we can cause some problems as well.
I think
there is Pat Richards in the
in a nutshell, I think they look more composed, taking the ball away from their own line. They've got a better kicking game, and they look far more dangerous in attack, Wigan do. But yet, you know, there's only 2 points in it. Yeah. So they look in a good position, but this game can go either way.
Just to give a positive, a big up to Leeds, and they have been doing some things well. And they've been putting the kicker under good pressure, haven't they?
Yeah, that's as much about the quality of the pass. It was over Tommy Luluai's head. But you have to say there that Badiris is on his game there. Matt Diskin's fabulous at creating kick pressure. Kick pressure might be the difference between turning a bad situation into a good situation. They've got to keep on with it against the Wigan team.
And I'd like to see, again, Lee Smith coming in with Leeds, taking a bit of pressure off Maguire and Sinfield. Full-back is the easiest position to kick a ball. You can control, you look where the opposition are, just stand on their shoulder. If he's under pressure, just say, just give it to me.
There's Bluey just giving a bit of encouragement, as he's named Bluey, Brian McLennan giving a bit of encouragement to Keith Senior. I'm trying to think, have I seen Keith Senior much in the first half?
He's come up with a couple of decent. You know, it's not one of those. It's not one of those good things. It's not one of those great days where you're going to see him scramble down, because we're going to too good defensively to see him make 60, 70 metre breaks. What you will see is he'll scramble around in defence, and he's come up with some pretty good, serious defensive plays. Right at the death there on Gleeson was a huge tackle to make.
It's not a game where you're going to see centres making breaks and you know, running 70 yards. When the opportunity comes, they'll have to finish it.
And having talked about him, this is the sort of thing he can do defensively. He is a man monster. He's Super League's all-time leading try scorer. He's played in all 15 seasons, but in defence, he is the one. That is the one bald head you do not want to see coming towards you. He's immense.
Yeah, he's done well there, but you know he's done that for a lot of years. You know, I think it's going to, you know, Jonathan's right. It might be the bounce of the ball or somebody not catching the ball in the second half that's the difference.
Well, hey, hello. That's the latest from St Helens Barrow, 6-all. St Helens were hot favourites for that. They only started at 3 o'clock, but after half an hour, I just think Barrow are very pleased with that. As you know, here it's 6-4, Wigan leading against Leeds. We are on the red button when we come off air. We will be then on the red button from 4:40. We've got lots of good subjects to discuss in that, and we will hear more interviews as well there. Already on the red button right now is coverage of the French Open. Leighton Hewitt against Rafa Nadal, one of the highlights today, and Maria Sharapova against Justine Henin. And in a month, we'll all be glued to Wimbledon, a cornerstone of our summer of sport on the BBC.
Another Grand Prix victory. He's the champion golfer of the year.
What a race, what a ride.
That is truly marvellous tennis.
Would you believe it? Messi's back involved again. 1-0.
Whether it's on TV, radio, mobile, red button, online or on BBC HD. We're in for a brilliant summer of sport on the BBC.
And obviously on Radio 4, long wave coverage of the Test match continuing as long as it's all right at Lords. I'm not quite sure what the weather's doing. It's horrible here. Yorkshire were meant to be playing Lancashire on the first day of the Roses match, but because of that, they are not. And the players, in fact, have come through to this side of Headingley and are watching the Rugby League. And among those, Tino Best of Yorkshire. And he's with Tanya now.
Yes, it's slightly different from the West Indies, this, Tino. I'm guessing you're not enjoying the weather.
Nah, it's not very good weather, but, you know, you're up north, so you still got to enjoy it.
Have you ever seen a rugby league match before?
No, this is my first game, and I'm quite excited.
What do you make of it all?
It's quick. It's a very quick-paced game and high impact. The impact is serious, seriously.
You don't fancy giving it a go then?
But I have to beef up some more, but I don't think that would do my cricket any good.
And now I'm sure the Yorkshire players have told you all about Rose's matches and who you should be supporting and cheering for.
Yes, most definitely the White Rose forever.
So you're cheering on Leeds?
Most definitely. We're going to win, no matter what.
Well, I hope you get to play some cricket. Thanks for joining us, Tino.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And talking of cricket, I hear that it has just got underway again at Lord's. England against Bangladesh about 10 minutes ago. They started. So once again, we have a little bit of a wait for the Leeds players to come out. Wigan are coming out onto the pitch now. I can see them coming out from the same side as our commentary box and studio positions are. And Leeds Rhinos will just keep them waiting for a few seconds and then emerge in front of their home crowd. So what will happen in the second half? Just 2 points in it. No tries yet. And Kevin Sinfield has missed 2 penalties coming off the side of the bar. With Keith Senior there. It's an intriguing encounter. Still, as they say, could go either way. So let's get back to John Keir, who's alongside Dave Woods.
Just harking back to the words we heard from Tino, there is a thriving rugby league in Jamaica these days, isn't there? It's been set up about a year ago, and they're enjoying their new rugby league status. I think it'll be a time or two before they're challenging England and Australia, but from small acorns.
Yeah, I was impressed with his analysis. It's high impact. I think that's quite astute.
It's a terrific game, low scoring, no tries, but take nothing away from the enjoyment we've had so far, and 40 minutes at least still to come. There's one of Richards' trademark restarts. He's lobbing it up and just laying the Leeds player Lee Smith open for a big impact from the 3 defenders who came in. And right from the start of this second half, Leeds have got work to do to clear their lines. How does it change? Does it change in this second half?
I don't think it does, Dave. I think it's a battle of attrition. And it'll be the guys who really hang in there, keep working the hardest, and just may well benefit from that stroke of luck that will take them into the semi-finals of this very, very, very prestigious competition.
And just to remind you, it's a big game, big afternoon, big competition. There are some empty spaces around the ground. That's because we've been reduced to 10,000 here today because the cricket was anticipated on the other side, Lancashire against Yorkshire. The authorities said only 10,000 were allowed in for the rugby league today. That's why it's not as full as it would have been. It would have been bouncing here. It's good enough as it is, but it would have been absolutely bouncing had they been allowed to sell as many tickets as they would have wanted to. Wigan just trying to measure it up back towards the halfway line through Paul Prescott.
Hold. Goal 3.
Slight advantage to the visiting team at the moment. There's a Lachlan wriggles inside his opponent's half.
Got it. Nice, caught it. Goal 4.
It's McIlroram, an acting halfback. It's Prescott again. Here's Tompkins. Tries to take off. Just dancing through a couple, but eventually put down. Jones Buchanan was a hero in the middle for Leeds. So here comes a high kick. Richards, up it comes. Where's it going? Richards underneath it, handed it straight to Hall.
Yeah, they've been disappointed with that kick, I think, Pat Richards. He wanted it a bit deeper, but that's great composure from Ryan Hall there. Eye on the ball completely, and although challenged by Richards, he came up with the ball in Hall, and it's allowing the Rhinos just to clear their own end and attempt to get some field position.
Senior rather. We're talking about players who featured in the first half or didn't. It's a penalty. Oh dear, he's got a few problems here, hasn't he? A few problems.
Back away. I've got it, Gans.
I think it was a flying boot, wasn't it? The referee was very quick to stop things.
I think if you see Keith Senior's reaction, though, it was unintentional.
Luluai and Maguire just having a little word with each other. Apologies if you did hear any language there. It's
well, it's just here.
Oh, Joel Tompkins, right in the head. Yeah.
I don't think he's aware what's happening around him, though, Keith Senior there.
Joel Tompkins certainly isn't aware of what's happening around him, although he is on his haunches now. He's here we go.
I mean, Senior can't see where Tompkins is there.
No. But does he not have a duty not to kick out when he knows there are players around?
I think he's trying to create some space so he can regain his feet, but he obviously has caught him.
So you can see the cut. There's the doctor with him. He looks as though he's more compos mentis than he was a couple of minutes ago. Keith Senior's going to get a talking to here.
Yeah.
Careless rather than nasty, wasn't it, really?
It's going to be a penalty. I know it's accidental, OK? It's a penalty because he's kicked out of the tackle.
Yeah, bang on again. Phil Bentham, exactly right. It was accidental, and that's why he's on the field, as Mr. Bentham's explaining, but it is worth a penalty.
Yeah, careless kicking out. Couldn't really do that. Had a duty of care given the number of defenders who were around him, and we're going for another goal here. Pat Richards is going to have another kick at goal.
Well, there's some more boos, and I don't think it's so much to do with the replay, it's to do with Richards' decision to go for goal, but it doesn't matter if you win a Challenge Cup tie 1-0 or 101-0. All you do is get into the next round, and I'm sure that's going through the mind of Pat Richards.
Well, if you have a view on what you've seen so far today, red button forum after we finished our main broadcast.
Tompkins is offside.
Rugby League at bbc.co.uk, and guess what? Pat Richards has missed. He's missed. So it remains at 6 points to 4. Rugby League fans are not used to seeing their sides trying to kick their way to victory. And that's why we've had the boos when both sides have selected to go for goal, but it is the conditions.
It's the conditions and it's the occasion, Dave. That's what it is. The stakes are very, very high indeed.
Coley with a big hit forward.
Move! Hold, goal.
Second forward by Prescott again, who rolls up towards the halfway line. Tony Arnold has news for us on the touchline.
Yeah, Joel Tompkins has been taken off to the Wigan dressing room. He's got a cut above the eye that they're looking to stitch up and bandage before they can think of sending him back on.
This is Sam Tompkins. Here's Luluai. Back towards Richards. Richards onto Gleeson. Gleeson looking for the little handoff. We've not seen a lot of that Wigan right edge attack, have we? These two, Gleeson and Roberts, coming into it more on that occasion.
5. Move!
Next tackle is tackle 6. Wigan 20 metres away. Back to Sam Tompkins. Now where's this coming down? Price is up there. It's a big fella, but he never really got in with a challenge. And it was Donald who took it. Leeds start again, but look how close they are to their own try line here.
That was textbook, wasn't it, from Scott Donald there? He just pulled away from where the kick was landed and then attacked the landing ball and came up with it and diffused the situation. But Wigan at the minute, Dave, they've got a stranglehold upon this game simply through the territory. Leeds are finding it very, very difficult to clear their own half.
As I mentioned in the first half, a couple of recent games, Warrington and Bradford, there have been spells in those where Leeds have really been under the cosh, penned inside their own half. That was in the first half of both those games, and yet have the ability to break away, have the players to do it. And Sinfield with the big kick that puts Price right back on his own goal line, and Leeds' defence is charging up, and Price almost breaking through.
Great work, wasn't it, from Kevin Sinfield? He realised they needed to clear their own half, and there was an offload, and that allowed a front foot kick, and what a great kick it was, and the Chase have responded accordingly.
Here's O'Loughlin. One of 5 Wigan captains this season. They don't have a single captain, they have a panel of 5 senior players. O'Loughlin's one of them, and he has a penalty here. Ablett stripped it away.
Lifted the leg, the held call's come in.
After the
Too long on the man.
After the call was that the man had been tackled.
Hold, lads.
Well, we'll dispute that.
He looked as though he lost it, didn't he?
Wait.
So I think it was a time involved in the tackle by the defender rather than the actual interference.
But again, what it's done is given Wigan that all-important territory. And at some stage, if you camp yourself on the opposition line, you're going to come up with a try by some means.
Cherry and white against blue and amber, 2 of the famous colours of rugby league, 2 of the famous old names of rugby league, serving up a real special treat today in trying conditions.
Third.
Or try-less conditions, as it happens.
Goal 3.
But still, with some tough defence and some tough attitudes. Here's Tompkins with a step, almost through. Jones Buchanan lost his footing and it almost allowed Tompkins through. This is Carmont. Carmont now will take them on. Look to burst the line and offload. Does that. Back it comes to Luluai. Luluai picks up, puts the kick through. It's into a forest of players. Knocked backwards. Dropped on. Dropped on by Luluai, the other Luluai. And Leeds have it back. Kylie Luluai. They are related cousins, by the way. Thomas of Wigan and Kylie of Leeds.
They've been very, very relieved as well, the Leeds side. And they just need, there needs to be a change, whether it's a substitution, introduction, but there just needs to be a change in the dynamics of the game for the Rhinos, because Wigan at the minute are just dominating.
Here's Diskin back to Sinfield. Sinfield's such an important figure now for his side, as he always is. The pivotal figure, but he's out of position here when the kick is required on the 6th. So back to Maguire, who's also handy with the boots. Well, he's stayed down, and it is a penalty from where the ball was caught.
And it should be sin bin, because if that's a late challenge on a kicker, the directive is to sin bin.
Here it comes, he's in his back pocket, and the yellow card is shown. And it is Farrell, Liam Farrell, who's got the long walk to the sin bin.
And that's correct. There can be no argument whatsoever from that. I believe Farrell could have pulled out of that. He didn't. He went through with the challenge. If it's a late challenge on a kicker, the RFL directive is the guys to sit on the sidelines for 10 minutes after that in the sin bin.
Well, we talk about turning points in games, but a penalty here for Leeds in the first instance has given them excellent position to attack here on the next 6, unless they go for goal, which they are doing, I think. But just as important, they've got a man extra now for the next 10 minutes. And tell us where are bodies at this stage of a game? 48 minutes played. Where are bodies at in terms of fatigue? How much will that man be missed by Wigan for this next 10 minutes?
Obviously the man will be missed, but it isn't so much about the fatigue, it's about the mental strength between the ears. Really, you've got to be very, very strong indeed at this point in time. And the thing that will drive you is the prize at the end of it. It's that outcome that will drive you, the semi-final prize. And sometimes you have to dig yourself through that discomfort, through that hurt, in order to really just turn up the performance.
Last Challenge Cup tie without a try. Can you remember it? I'm racking my brains. I remember Halifax 3, Wigan 2, back in 1980, I think. Here's Sinfield who kicks. And the flags are up. And it is 6 points apiece. 3 points to 2 that day. I think it was a goal apiece and a drop goal. I'm sure there must have been a game since in the Challenge Cup that hasn't seen a try.
I don't know, Dave. But there's the challenge on Farrell. The late challenge, on Maguire by Liam Farrell. And that's the result. 10 minutes rest.
Jonathan Davis in the studio. What are you saying, Jonathan?
I don't know, he's in the air, he's committed. I don't think you can pull out of that. So I know it's a directive from the Rugby League, but I think that's a bit harsh, because in these conditions you've got to chase the kicker down. Sinfield was involved in the tackle, so they put pressure on Smith, and he was in the air. I'm not sure if that's the right call.
Well, it's something that we're going to have to live with.
Hold.
6-6. And we've played very nearly 50 minutes. Here's Peacock.
2, move, hold, go.
Diskin, Maguire, he's trying to arc through, but unable to do so.
Hold, go, 3.
Senior.
4, move, hold.
This is Diskin now, waits and acting half again, and back to Sinfield behind the 40-metre line when it kicks, but never really troubling the touch line. It's caught instead cleanly by Richards. And Richards taking it back and carrying it in.
First.
Tanya Arnold.
Move!
Yeah, you can see some fairly heavy strapping there on Pat Richards' left thigh. They ran on a few minutes ago to strap it up. A slight dead leg, and they've strapped it up to stop a muscle pull. Also, Paul Prescott came off the pitch a little while ago with blood pouring from his mouth, but he's got a tissue to it. I think he'll be fine.
Third.
You always get a touch judge standing in the way, don't you, when you least want it.
Goal, 3.
Here's Riddell. This is Coley.
4, move.
Riddell again. Up he goes, left he goes. Bailey with a quick hands. Nearly had Carmont through, but the Leeds defence against was smart.
Well, I think that's the type of play that's required to open a defence up. You saw there, it was a little short pass, almost got Carmont through. It actually turned Sinfield in towards him before he just tried the short pass. Didn't quite work, but what you need is the field position to put those type of plays on.
If it's all square at the end of 80 minutes, we go into golden point extra time, by the way, just to warn you. A little bit of a break for you to put the kettle on and get the biscuits out. And then it is into golden point, and my word, that is drama. We had that last year, didn't we? Televised tie, Hulkingston Rovers, Warrington.
Hold, go.
And it is the ultimate drama. This ain't bad. Here's Peacock.
2, move, hold, go.
Diskin. Here's Luluai again now. Kylie Luluai. Penalty. Penalty for Leeds.
Well, this is a big decision, this. Do you take the 2 or do you put the ball deep because of the man down?
John.
Well, the referee's having a word here with Sean O'Loughlin, I think, as the captain.
Yeah, that's correct. O'Loughlin there. You see his arm attacked the ball, reefed it out.
All right, yeah, it was stolen, it was deliberate.
Stolen deliberately, he says.
Stolen.
And they're going to go for goal again.
Well, that's a big call, that one, you know, Dave, because they're a man down at 4 or 5 minutes of the sin bin left, and he could have pumped the ball into the corner and camped on the Wigan line, but he's just attempting to claw the way over the finishing line.
Kevin Sinfield measuring it up on a day. It's a bit of a cup cliche, isn't it? Goal kicks could be important, but today they really are. Puts this over. Leeds will be in front for the very first time in the game. They had their chances before when Sinfield hit the uprights twice. This is the furthest kick from in distance. Sam Tompkins is much further away than that shot makes him look. Here comes the kick. He's put it wide. He's put it wide. It remains at 6-6. Leeds fans can't believe it.
Cheers.
Hit it with enough hoof, but put it wide. Let's hear from Robbie Paul. Robbie.
Yeah, well, I got to agree. I'm very surprised that the Leeds, that Kevin Sinfield is choosing to go for goal. Wigan are down to 12 men. They've been struggling for the last 50 minutes to find a chink in Wigan's defence. And I think with a man being off the field, it'll be the greatest opportunity for them to trying to turn 2 points into 6.
Peacock and Fielden once brothers in arms at the Bradford Bulls, of course, under the stewardship of Brian Noble. They came together with a thunderous clash on that occasion.
Hold! 2, hold!
Bit of wrestling going on here. Penalty for Leeds. You could see it coming, couldn't you?
Well, if he'd have carried on, it'd have been a 10-minute play, the ball there.
For your own arm, you've got to get it out, that's your warning.
That's the warning. Referees have been clamping down on this kind of thing, haven't they?
Well, he called held, did the referee. We all heard him call held. And then O'Loughlin just trying to buy a bit of extra time, but this time he's put it in the corner, and that's the right decision. And this time the Warriors are under pressure with a man down.
If you've been waiting all afternoon for a try, don't move now, because there might be one brewing here. Ablett with the initial drive, Diskin a dummy half, 12 yards to cover. Here comes Luluai, head down, and in he goes. And 2 grabbing hold and pulling him down. But look how close they're getting now. This is Diskin, left to Maguire. Maguire with a step, O'Loughlin with a catch. Maguire slips 3, and then past another one. Luluai holds on, and Wigan hold on. 2 goal. Still 4 to come. Back to Sinfield. Sinfield with a little kick through. Saw the run of Jones Buchanan. Price has gone down. Jones Buchanan tries to put him behind the line, and Price has done well.
That's a great piece of play from a man mountain there. That's the type of kick you need to put behind Carl Price. Make the big man get down, but he did it really well indeed. And now I'm sure Wigan will put the ball up the jumper and try and clear their own end and try and get Liam Paddle back out on the field.
In terms of percentage plays, that was a poor one from Kevin Sinfield, wasn't it?
It was, yes, it was early tackle one, but those at the end of the sets, that would be the type of kicks to put in, but very early in the tackle count.
Early in the tackle count with not that many runners, and Jones Buchanan a while away. Wigan hanging on. Here's Richards.
10 lads, 10.
Kick downfield. Caught by Hall. Just pushing away Sam Tompkins and running it over. He's a winger, by the way, Ryan Hall.
That's great kick return, though, that from Ryan Hall. So important to your forwards to generate the early goal forward in the set.
Here's Ablett.
2.
Here we go. Bang, get out of my way. Get out of you as well. Peacock. Sinfield.
3. Move.
Eastwood chopped down. He's an unlikely looking rugby player, isn't he? But he can move a bit, can Eastwood. Sinfield out to Jones Buchanan, stepping out of the tackles. Back it comes to Maguire. Maguire has a look. Smith wanted it played early. Maguire didn't fancy it. The kick's poor. Mocked up by Lachlan. He's knocked on, hasn't he? The referee said it went backwards.
Well, it was a poor decision, I feel, for Maguire there. Sometimes in conditions like this, you have to trust your footwork to stand one of the big guys up, and there was some space in that middle channel. He didn't do it, opted for the kick, and it obviously didn't work out.
Tanya Arnold down on the touchline. Tanya.
Yeah, Joel Compton just being bandaged up. He's had 8 stitches put in above his left eye. They're just strapping it up so they can send him back onto the pitch.
Here comes O'Loughlin.
5. Move. Hold Leeds. Go.
It's Luluai. Stepping away from Ablett. Stopped by Lee Smith. Smith has a look. He's trying to triangle on the outside, but Roberts has appeared. Knocked on. Clean knock on. Leeds' turn to make the mistake. Wigan's turn to have the ball inside their opponent's half.
Yes, a shot there by Roberts on Smith. Forced the header, but in all honesty, it was a loose carry. He'll be very, very disappointed in himself, Lee Smith, and that probably indicates the state of the weather. And that indicates how Liam Farrell's feeling at the minute.
Rather bedraggled and rather disappointed, having had to watch the last 8.5 minutes from the sin bin. He'll be back on again in just a couple of minutes, or at least the Wigan player can come back on again in a couple of minutes. They are still down to 12, but they've weathered the storm well enough. Haven't conceded any points since conceding that sin bidding, and now they find themselves in a good position. Here's Roberts. A step and a flick of the heels.
1. Move. And hold. Go.
It's Riddell.
Well held, Ryan. Good.
Coley. Just a case of urging that body
Play on.
through. Oh, look at the offload. Terrific. Field and catches well at first slip. And then runs
2.
in.
Move. Back up.
12 yards away.
Go well back.
Riddell. Coley. Coley. Peacock's there to hang on, and Jamie Jones Buchanan to lend a hand. Riddell's caught up. And the advances of Jamie Jones Buchanan. This is Lachlan. Tompkins behind the line. Luluai trying to get in bravely. Bailey's offside.
He's offside.
Penalty.
It's a good call, Dave Woods.
Offside came off you, Danny.
Well, Bailey initially, and then
you
Jones
saw one of the
Buchanan.
Leeds players, he actually held off dropping onto the ball. And Wigan were fully aware that this was offside. Again, it's the little kicking game from Tompkins. Causing some confusion, just sliding it behind the defensive line. Played it by Maguire. And it was in an offside position.
Time off.
Well, after the sin binning time has been completed, Liam Farrell has stayed off. And it's Joel Tompkins who comes on.
Time's off, lads.
To bring the number back to 13 with his 8 stitches and his bandage. And Pat Richards is going to go for goal here. 3 goals from 4 attempts.
It is as tight as a drum, isn't it, Dave? It really is.
Well, I don't think any of us turn up at Headingley here today expecting it not to produce any tries this game, because they are 2 very high-quality teams, not only in terms of defence, but also in the way they attack their opponents. But the conditions, the rain, the tension has added up to a bit of a kicking contest at the moment, and it's Wigan who edge again, 8 points to 6. And in the rain, those Wigan fans are wearing cagoules and smiles, and so's their coach.
Discipline, lads. All right, keep listening.
Luluai. Just a little bit of a juggle.
First. Move. Hold. Hold.
Well, really,
go.
it's been a model victory, hasn't it, for Wigan with that 10-minute period with the sin bin in. And they still come out 2 points in front on the scoreboard after the sin bin, so they'll be feeling pretty good about themselves.
Oh, Coley.
3. Move. Go.
Oh dear, mistake again. No, it's Leeds' turn.
Andy Coley there has made a real pig's ear of the play of the ball, and he knows it. He's been in the thick of the action, Andy Coley, in many positive ways, but in a couple of negative ones as well.
Well, if you're a non-rugby league fan and you're watching and thinking, what was wrong with that? He rolled the ball forward with his foot, and you're not allowed to do that. Here's Delaney. It's a bit of a technical issue, isn't it? They all play the ball at times.
First.
Not every play the ball is as clean as it should be.
Hold. Go.
Blind eyes are turned sometimes.
Get up there. 2. Move. And hold. Hold.
Here's Diskin,
go.
Leeds. Looking to lift the pressure. Oh, and it's been dropped by Kirk.
0.
Well, that was such a slow play, the ball, and a poor delivery there from the hooker for a soft header from Kirk. And see from the headers, they're just adding up, and it's increasing the pressure.
This is Bailey.
2.
Phil Bailey, right on the halfway line. Penalty again.
Hands in.
Tanya, what are you saying?
Yeah, I've got Wigan's 18-man Darryl Goulding with me. Darryl, it's a tough one to watch, I'm guessing, for you.
Yeah, it's a very scrappy game at the minute. There's a lot of mistakes and a lot of penalties, but I think the lads are hanging in really, and we've just got to be patient and build, and hopefully we'll get a chance to win the game.
Your coach has been talking about defence and needing to improve that in a couple of weeks. Is that where the emphasis has been this week?
We do a lot of work on defence, but we also do a lot of work on attack. We've looked at the Leeds' strengths, which are their attacking qualities, really, and we're just hopefully trying to stuff them out, really, in this game.
Thanks for joining us, Darryl.
No worries, thanks a lot.
This is Cup Rugby League in the Raw now.
Hold, go.
Somebody's got to win it today. Somebody walks away out of the competition. Somebody marches on. Who's it going to be? It's Richards into the line. Oh, it's Coleman who's lost it, and the interception by Smith. But there are enough Wigan players across there to make sure he can't go the distance.
Well, almost the bravery of the Wigan players there, moving the ball, almost paid off. But just an error at the very end and allowed Smith to defuse the situation. But it's going to be something like that, Dave, that will win this game.
2.
19 minutes left to play. I don't think it's going to stay at 8-6.
Yeah, half chance there. It was Carman that lost the ball, and Smith that was a grateful recipient, but something like that will win this game, and one team's got to hold the nerve and execute the play.
Sinfield to the middle and Eastwood,
Dominant!
barrelling forward and not backwards by O'Loughlin.
5, go.
Tackle 6, so they're going to kick here at the end of their set. Sinfield puts it high, Richards underneath it. It's a good kick, but it's well taken. Very well taken by Pat Richards.
He's been immaculate, hasn't he, today? He really has. His kicking's been sensational. His penalties have been sensational, but I've been very, very impressed how he's handled the Leeds kicking game, fielded the ball on the full and brought it back up the field.
Go.
Roberts hurling it to the middle, and Fielden has to go down low to catch it.
Move. Hold. Go.
Prescott.
4. Move. Wait. Go. 4.
O'Loughlin.
5. Move. Go. Kev, not square.
Riddell with a kick.
Smart kick.
Once, twice, out of play. It's a really good kick. It's not a 40-20, but he does put Leeds back on their heels here.
Well, it put Leeds on their heels, but what it allows them to do as well is really flying from the scrum, the Wigan Warriors.
St Helens leading Barrows 16 points to 6. I think that's a half-time score, is it? Yes, it is. That's confirmed. Very nearly half-time. St Helens 16, Barrow 6. So Steve McCormack's Barrow are doing terrifically well there. And don't forget that once we've finished coverage of this game here today, we go off the BBC One forum, but we're back on the platform for the Red Button Forum, the internet platform, rugby league at bbc.co.uk. If you go to the website or the Red Button, you can see us there. And we'll be reviewing all of today's game. That's from 4:40 p.m. this afternoon.
Heads in, last part, right in. Sam, right up. Okay.
Everybody takes
Time on,
a
out.
big deep breath with 17 minutes left to play and a cup tie still to be won and lost.
First move.
Leeds
And
have the
hold.
ball, but in greasy
Go.
conditions. For how long and for how far? Ablett lost it, not long, lost it. And the congratulations amongst the Wigan players because they know how important this is now. As limbs weary, Wigan have it from the head and feet at the scrum, you'd think. And they are that close to the sticks. Joel Tompkins.
Yeah, hasn't he been brave? He's played really well as a back row forward, picked up the injuries, gone back out there and came up with a shot like that. And that could be the game turner. But I still believe, Dave, that the real hero from the afternoon has yet to emerge in the final 16.5 minutes.
Right in there, Lee Smith.
Anything could happen. Anything could happen. And it might be about to happen. This is Gleeson looking on the outside of the defender's shoulder and getting there well, but they came across quickly, the Leeds players.
Wait.
Tompkins looking right and left. Where's he going to go? Back to the middle. Prescott back to Sam Tompkins. Tries to run at Bailey, does do. They're all chasing him over the top, intercepted. Here comes Ryan Hall. Foot down and off he goes. Inside, but look how many back in cherry and white. Dragging him down.
But what a relief that was. A great play from Hall, a big play. It looks as if Wigan were going to score.
Penalty.
And now it's a penalty to Leeds. It's really flipped on its back here. If they put the ball into the corner, they've got a great attacking position here, the Rhinos. And it all came from that play by Ryan Hall.
They kept going for goal. They're going for goal. This is Tompkins.
And there's a play from Hall. He got himself between the ball carrier and the support players. And although Tompkins tried to go over the top, he came up with the goods. And then O'Loughlin, once again, he's been penalised a number of times today. Once again penalised for interference at the play of the ball. Reefing the ball out. And it's given Sinfield this opportunity. Again, I don't know whether it's the right thing to do. You've got to be confident enough and you've got to be assertive enough to actually go out and win the game.
Another chapter from Kevin Sinfield's goal-kicking history. The Challenge Cup final at Cardiff, when had he gone for goal, it would have tied the game. Thought he was seeing a tiring Bradford defence. Tried to run it, Bradford held on and won the cup. He's had a lot of chapters in his goal-kicking history, hasn't he? Here he comes, looking to add another. Big kick from Kevin Sinfield. Huge kick from Kevin Sinfield. Right where it needed to be. And Leeds are right where they need to be.
Well, you could just prove you're wrong, can't you? That's some kick, is that? I mean, it's a great kick anyway in the conditions. But given the circumstances as well, 2 points down, a Challenge Cup quarter-final. And it comes up and it's an absolute peach of a kick from Kevin Sinfield.
8 points apiece. A reminder of the fact that if we're all square at 80 minutes, extra time will loom and golden point.
First move.
8 apiece.
And hold.
Who'd have predicted
Hold.
this?
Go.
And who'd have
That's you,
predicted
Ryan.
that we've been going up 2 at a time?
2. Move. Hold. Go. 2.
Diskin. And Kirkcally's head snapped back in a tackle, but bravely plays. Here's Eastwood, the Barney Rubble of the Leeds back row.
Hold. Go.
Bit of Yabba Dabba Doo. Here's Diskin.
Lost it. Dropped it. Play on. Play on. Play on. Play on.
Play on, the referee keeps insisting, and Fielden says, OK, I will.
Move. And hold. Go.
Here's Riddell.
Nice together.
Prescott. Ablett. Flying in.
Move. Hold, lads. Hold. Go.
Here's Riddell. Joel Tompkins squaring up. Ablett
2.
again.
Move. Hold, Ryan. Go. 2.
Riddell. Here's Sam Tompkins. Carmont, he's a player of real quality.
Move.
On the quiet is George Carmont. Oh, he's lost. Stolen. Stolen. It's another penalty.
Well, that's the 21st penalty of the game.
Have you been keeping count?
and a lot have been for this very reason. This interference as players are regaining the feet, playing at the ball to try and just cause the error. But the eagle-eyed Mr. Bentham has seen that the hand was in. So it's been 11 against Wigan and 10 against Leeds. Pretty even, Stephen, as the scoreboard is, as the possession is. This is very, very important once again from Pat Richards.
Yeah, I've got it 1 minute. Got it.
Sticks this one over. Wigan are back in front. 8-8 the scoreline at the moment. And Mr. Reliable Richards. 11.5 minutes left to play. Headingley tries to put him off, and Richards will not be put off. Sliding it in. Wigan lead again, 10 points to 8. Where's this going to end?
Well, it's sublime, isn't it, Richards? Cometh the hour, cometh the man. He's been Mr. Consistency, Mr. Cool. Played really well today.
It's his field and dragging it back again. And held up just short of the 20.
Hold, go.
So about family dynasties in rugby league, and the one that's going on at Wigan at the moment, of course, involves the Tompkins. There's a bit of a Burgess family dynasty at the moment. Sam is getting rave reviews down under in Australia with South Sydney. His brother Luke is a normal lead starter, but not played today, but he's talking to Tanya.
Yeah, Luke picked up an injury last week against Bradford. How are the nerves watching this one, Luke?
Yeah, it's pretty tense watching from up here. I mean, we've just been saying it's completely different from watching the game to playing. You know, you get into it like one of the spectators.
Is it just a case of hoping somebody makes a mistake now? It seems to be mistake-driven this at the moment.
Yeah, obviously the conditions aren't the best, so you know, mistakes are pretty key, and you know, obviously the side with the least mistakes is going to be the side that's hopefully going to go on and win this game.
Still confident you can win this?
Yeah, always got to stay confident. You know, a little bit of high, and hopefully we can take it all the way and get the win.
Luke, thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
You've got to believe, haven't you? You've got to believe whichever side you're playing on at the moment. Here's Senior, chopped down. Riddell, like a sniper out from the ranks came. Sinfield throwing it wide. Delaney just pushing one off. Not a second or the third. Leeds edging back towards their opponent's half. Eastwood.
5.
Good defending going on. Riddell's getting through some good tackling at the moment.
Outside.
Badiris with a kick. Richards confident with the hands off the bounce.
And once again, impeccably positioned, wasn't he? It really was. He read that play very well. Saw Badiris picking up from dummy half for a short side kick. And Mr. Reliable, once again, Pat Richards just brought it back into the field of play.
McAlora, O'Loughlin again, driving his side forward. He's had a terrific season as well.
Hold, go.
Young Sean O'Loughlin. It's Joel Tompkins. 9 minutes away from potential golden point, but as it stands, it would be Wigan who would be in the hat for the draw for the semi-finals of the Carnegie Challenge Cup. Little flick by Tompkins, taken by Hall.
Flop there from, I think it was Gleeson, after the tackle had been completed. It just allows Leeds to put the ball into the over the sideline for a tap restart. Leeds just need to generate a bit of game speed now.
Robbie Paul, who's going to win this?
Well, it's anyone's game at the moment. What I think we're going to see from Leeds, we're going to see them open the game up right now. Despite the weather conditions, they're going to have to start chucking the ball around. We're into the last 10 minutes. From Wigan's point of view, I think they need to tighten the game up. They need to just build back-to-back sets and put Leeds under a lot of pressure. But like I said, it's anyone's game.
Hold, go.
8 minutes to go. 2 points the difference. Maguire. We have not yet seen a try.
Move.
There haven't been many Challenge Cup games in history. Over 100 years of Challenge Cup Rugby League. Not many have finished without a try. This one just might. Or maybe Leeds are on the verge here. Maguire on the 6, running into trouble, and gives it back to Wigan.
That's just an element of composure. They did a couple of early tackle kicks early on that I felt was the wrong thing, but that might have been the time. Last tackle, put the ball on the ground and make it a contest.
Move!
Tackles are racking up, not many missed, are there?
Go on.
Here's Roberts.
2.
Real Bobby Dazzler on his day, but it's not a day for Amos Roberts. Not yet, anyway. Gleeson slipping as he went into the tackle.
Move! Hold. Go. 3.
Come on.
4. Move! Go.
This is Richards.
5. Move!
6 tacklers the next. McIlaurin taking it down the blind side. Little chip, should be easy for Smith, and he does collect it safely enough. Wigan's chase is there, not in great numbers, so Smith's trying to look for the outside, but O'Loughlin would not let him go.
Yes, worked very hard indeed, Sean O'Loughlin. And also interesting to know, all Leeds' interchanges now used up, so this really is the last throw of the dice. Wigan have plenty up their sleeve yet, 2 with just 7 minutes left, but Leeds, it's hey lads, hey, they may as well throw caution to the wind.
Go. 3.
Badeiras to Peacock. Peacock not long back. In fact, this game back from a knee injury that looked as though it's going to keep him out for a good few weeks yet.
5.
Luluai over the halfway, but 5 tackles gone. So again, they're going to have to kick. Again, hope that Wigan make the mistake. Although Sinfield's gone for a bit of a gamble there. O'Loughlin colliding with Luluai.
That's a big play. That is a big play from Sean O'Loughlin.
He did well to hold on to that, didn't he?
He really did. That's something different that needs to be thrown into the dynamics of the game. But great work by O'Loughlin there. Both him and Luluai totally committed to it. I think there's been a bit of a clash of heads, but I'm sure that O'Loughlin will be quite happy to have caught with the ball.
Somewhere in the hazy conscience that he just about had after the clash of heads, he knew how important it was to hang on, and he hung on. This is McIlaurin. Bailey. Plaintive cries of forward pass from the south stand.
5. Move!
They're considered drop goals at this stage. Probably not. Here's Tompkins with a little kick through.
That's a great kick.
Smith picks it up, but a good Wigan chase. Tompkins is there. They're all there. But strong stuff from Smith. Keeps it in the field of play.
Go.
Donald.
2. Go.
Headingley. The Leeds part of Headingley anyway, trying to lift their heroes for one big effort. It's going to take a big effort now. Penalty, that helps.
That's the last thing you want there. They were in control of the game. The clock's the friend, it's ticking down. And then Paul Prescott comes up with the 13th penalty that the Warriors have conceded. And they've gone for distance there, the Rhinos.
Just about got there. Just out before Price got his fingertips on it. Luluai with the initial drive. Here come Leeds. 5 tackles from here. 30 yards to cover. One big man has led the way. Here comes another. Big and brave. Jamie Peacock. Another 10 yards. Another stage set in this attack. Badeiras scampers away. This is Maguire behind the line. Collected by Smith, the fullback. Oh, he's kicked it, but there's a mistake. It's taken by Senior, and Senior desperately trying to get there, but equally desperate is the Wigan defending. It's another set. Another 6 tackles from here because of the Wigan touch. Wigan are on the brink. Leeds are pushing hard. Maguire across the line. Out it goes. Delaney slips. Oh my word! He's thrown it away. He has thrown it away.
That was the time. That was the time for the Rhinos. And it's Delaney's error throwing the ball into touch there instead of to Donald. That was the opportunity that we've waited for 76 minutes for. And it's been absolutely bombed there. Delaney didn't give Donald an opportunity whatsoever. I think that is game to the Warriors.
Well, there's 3.5 minutes left yet.
Let's go.
We've waited 76 minutes for an opportunity, Dave.
At the very least, all he needed to do was keep hold of it there, didn't he? Because he still had 5 tackles after that. Didn't need to take the gamble at that stage. But he did. And as every gambler knows, very often you lose.
First. Move. Go.
Luluai.
2. Move. Go.
O'Loughlin. Just some steady stuff by Wigan.
3rd. Move.
pushing their noses into the tackles and trying to get as much gain as they can. Let's not take any risks, will be the call here. 5 drives and a kick, the old-fashioned up your jumper, but not if the Leeds big men can help it. Luluai and Peacock have clashed heads, I think, but Luluai's not letting it show if he can help it. Peacock, great pressure from Peacock on Tompkins.
Offside there.
Hand over in here.
It was an accidental offside,
yes.
so it's a handover.
Well, this is it. If Leeds are going to win it, it's got to be in this set. It really has.
That was immense, though, from Jamie Peacock, wasn't it?
Of such efforts, the game's turn. How fatigued he is. He hasn't played for 2 weeks. He makes that massive effort to pressure the kicker, forces the accidental offside, forces Leeds field position 27 metres from the line. It's now or never, Rhinos.
That's why Jamie Peacock's such a special player. Not the dazzling hands or the lightning feet, the heart, the guts and the determination. And he's given his side a position here from which they might just strike. Smith, 20 yards out. 2 and a bit minutes left to play. They won't get many more chances now. Sinfield, head rattles back in the force of the tackle. But he'll pick himself up, and Badiras waits willingly. Now comes Peacock. Peacock puts it back to Maguire. Maguire across the line. Oh, it's touched, is it, by Roberts?
I believe Roberts touched that. I believe Roberts touched that ball.
Yes, he has. Head and feet to Leeds. Head and feet, so it's not wasted yet.
That's a big play, that. Amos Roberts played at that ball, and it's given Leeds another set of 6 camped on the Wigan line. You see it? Plays at the ball, knocks it forward.
Wait.
What a finish.
It's all about, can Leeds do it or can Wigan hang on? Attack against defence. And here comes Smith. Smith with a sidestep on the inside. And Lee Smith has won it for Leeds. Right at the end. Right at the end. They could have not left it much longer than that. Lee Smith submerged amongst his teammates. He knows he's done it. And that will be that.
That's what Challenge Cup Rugby League is all about. Heroes. And today the hero is Lee Smith. It's been a war of attrition, trialist to the very end. But then one piece of magic. And it's there, and that's how he celebrates. Scrum from Roberts' error. A little inside ball from Sinfield. Footwork. Martin Gleeson misses a tackle. Richards misses a tackle. Smith's over. And that's the ball game. A fantastic cup tie. And it's that sublime piece of play that leads to Leeds as taking the lead for the first time.
He's the headline man. Those are the celebrations. But it is the unsung hero, the man in the middle there, Jamie Peacock, on whose shoulders that try rests. It was his kick pressure that gave Leeds the position, and Sinfield has hit the post again. 3 times he's hit the post, but this time it probably doesn't matter. But this is the moment. This was the moment that try was born. He was the man who took it over the line and scored it.
Get ready.
But it was all about Jamie Peacock.
Well, here's the restart.
It's gone 10.
The man of the match has got to be Pat Richards for his restarts and his points. Although he's on the losing side, Richards has been sublime returning the ball. He hasn't put a foot wrong, except perhaps for that missed tackle. He's on the losing side, but he's still been the Carnegie Challenge Cup quarter-final man of the match for me. But what a game of rugby league.
Well, that's how late they left it. The very last move of the game, producing the try, the only try of the game. Lee Smith, the hero, crashing over for the score. And my word, Leeds are through to the semi-finals in the most dramatic of circumstances. It's not often you leave a rugby league game without seeing a try, and we saw one at the very, very end. What a game! Leeds have won it by 12 points to 10. Pat Richards the man of the match, but it's on a losing side. It is Leeds who are marching on together as the song is sung by the South Stand. What a game.
Where you can see some of the Leeds Rhinos fans, how elated they are. It was on a knife edge. They never led until the penultimate minute. That try from Lee Smith, sealing it. And Leeds Rhinos will go through to the semi-finals of the Carnegie Challenge Cup. For Wigan, it is desolation. They played so well, kept control of the match, but couldn't score when it mattered. Well, let's talk to the winning coach. Brian McLennan is with Tanya Arnold.
Brian, many congratulations. That was tight.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, what a tough game. You know, we hung in there. It was penalty for penalty, and you don't often see that today in rugby league. And you know, we had to hang in there and only one try, but what a time for it to come.
I mean, the conditions were horrible, weren't they, for both sides?
Yeah, it was, and it made it very difficult conditions to play in and to handle, so it stopped a lot of passing, and of course, in the contact, because it was so physical, there was a lot of loose ball in the ruck area, and that's as a result of the conditions and both teams playing with such intensity.
You saw the celebrations as the try went over, let alone the final whistle. This means a huge amount to your players, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right, and you know, I think being home really counted a lot. You know, our supporters are kept behind us, and our boys are, you know, the Leeds boys are tough. You know, when they set their minds to it, they can get anything done.
And make no mistake, they want this Challenge Cup this season, don't they?
Oh, well, again, one step at a time. You know, there's a draw, so we'll see who we draw in the next one, but it's been a hell of a ride so far.
Not good for the heart rate, is it?
Yeah. It's cool.
Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, let's give in the man of the match. He was on the losing side, but an awesome effort for Pat Richards. There's the champagne. I guess that doesn't make that any easier, though.
Very disappointing. What can I say? I mean, game's about 80 minutes. We played about 79, so it's devastated at the moment.
That was a tough match, wasn't it, for both sides?
Yeah, we knew it was going to be one of them games where points, you know, going to be hard to come by. So we just had to stay in there and dig deep. They're a great side, Leeds, and just really disappointed in ourselves, letting ourselves down there with one play.
But important that this doesn't put you off the Super League, in which you've been so good.
Yeah, you know, we've been pretty good all year, but you know, it's a bit hard to take at the moment. You know, we wanted to work hard in this cup competition, but wasn't to be.
Pat, commiserations. Thank you very much for talking to us. Let's just bring in the Leeds captain, Kevin Sinfield. Oh, Kevin, how are the nerves?
Yeah, they're all right, actually, now. We knew we had to score in that second half, and you know, to leave it right to the death meant it was a pretty nervy place, I suppose. But while we were out there, I mean, there were a lot of errors in the game, and it was probably slower than a normal Super League or a Challenge Cup tie. But you know, we stuck at it. There's a lot of character in our side, and we come up against the top side today, and delighted to be in the next round.
There is an immense amount of belief always in this team, isn't there, that you can score at any time?
Yeah, there is, but you know, on a day like today, and we got 7-8 minutes without a try. You know, I'm sure some of our lads were thinking, is it going to come? But Lee Smith did great at the end to finish it, and delighted to be in the next round.
And it says it all about the conditions that you were choosing to kick rather than run at them.
Yeah, like I said, we knew we had to score in the second half, but that post, I hit that post about 6 times.
You've been practicing that, but if you tried to, that you couldn't do it.
We should get more points for it in the post, I think. And then, but one of them days, a bit of an off day with the boot, disappointed, but delighted with the win.
Congratulations, Kevin. Let's just bring in Jamie Peacock. Jamie, I mean, nobody thought you would start. How is the knee?
Pardon?
How is your knee?
Yeah, it's a bit sore. Not too bad now, we've won it. It was a great win in the end.
I mean, you just caught hold of Sam Tompkins there. It was a vital tackle.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do something there, and I probably weren't going to score a try, so the best way was try to get some good defence and get some pressure back on them, managed to pressurise them, you know, a bad kick, and Lee Smith would come up with a try. Yeah, it was great.
And seeing you guys celebrate at the end, this is a really big win for you, and it meant a lot.
Yeah, it was, and it was just a big game. Anyway, we're going to quality opposition, and it was a nitty-gritty game, and to nick a game at the end is always emotional. It was great to win it.
And 10 out of 10 for timing.
Yeah, just right, yeah, perfect.
Jamie, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, the celebrations will last a while for Leeds, but they'll have to get over it and move on rapidly. And I should think a few of them will have aching muscles and limbs and bones and aching heads as well, because that was a huge mental effort. Robbie Paul is in there amongst the players. They're holding ice up to the cheeks and all sorts going on. Robbie.
Doing a team song at the moment. I can hear you. Go now.
Robbie Paul's down there. Robbie's down there in the change room. Robbie, can you hear me?
Yes.
OK, Robbie, tell me what it's like down there, and maybe we can hear from a few of the players. Go for it, Robbie. Yeah, we've got a few problems down there. I don't think he can hear us, even though we can hear him. Danny Maguire there having a pot of yoghurt by the looks of things. And Brian McLennan, I mean, that is an immense effort. Jonathan and Brian Noble watching that with me. Exactly, that's, I think, is the reaction, Jonathan, just...
Well, that is get out of jail card, because you have to say, and I think by the reaction of both sides, Wigan were dominant in the second half. They didn't have one attacking opportunity, Leeds, apart from the last one, and they took it. And lack of discipline, given field position, then they had a little knock on. You thought they'd miss the opportunity when Delaney threw the ball into touch, but they stuck at it. They had one opportunity and they scored and in the hat for the next round. But you can imagine how the Wigan change room feel now, because they were totally dominant.
You can see it, Brian, and you know these players well.
They've been in similar situations over the last couple of years, 4 semi-finals, and it's a horrible play. Albeit this is a quarter-final, it's a big game. It was such a fabulous game for one try to be scored, and for us to be feeling as we all lack energy now, because we've been into this game right throughout this second half, and it was a fabulous arm wrestle that Leeds snatched right at the death there, didn't they?
They did, and it just, I mean, it really was one of those games where you just thought somebody's going to make a mistake here. I mean, in the end, there were so many mistakes, you lost count of them.
Well, there was one missed tackle, I think, the last try, from a scrum. Defence had been fantastic for Wigan. The attacking options weren't great for Leeds, and yet they come up with this one try. Gleeson slips the tackle, and it's a great finish by Smith. So it was, that was it. The last chance, they took it.
Well, let's get a reaction from one of the most experienced players, in fact, the most experienced player in the Leeds squad. Robbie Paul is with Keith Senior.
Yeah, I think some of them have nicknamed you Old Father Time, Keith. What are your feelings on that? Obviously, you've been through a lot of cup finals, you've played in a lot of cup games, you've played in a lot of Super League finals as well. How does that rate?
Yeah, that was a superb game. That was one of the first games where there were no tries. Coming up to the last 3 minutes, and young Smithy at the end, finally got us a win. Hard fought competition, a real slow game, but we showed his desire to make sure that we won at the end.
Really, what was going through your mind with 2 minutes to go? You had that scrum. Did you think you guys could get over?
We've got a lot of belief, but when Frogger got on that ball and passed it into touch, there were a bit of doubt slip coming into the mind, because like I said, there were no tries in the game. Waiting to see high penalty counts in the game, but thankfully we got the scrum, and young Smithy slid through at the end.
And what's it going to mean to you if you could actually get to Wembley yourself?
Yeah, it'd be great. I've been fortunate enough to play in the old Wembley. Had 3 losers medal with Leeds, so that's something that we'd like to put right. And we've made no qualms that we're looking at focusing on Challenge Cup this year, and we're one step closer now.
All right, congratulations, mate. Good on you.
Thank you.
I think his teammates are starting to take the mickey, but I'm sure many of you will have opinions on this. Keith Senior kicking out and catching Joel Tompkins accidentally in the face, but Tompkins ending up with 8 stitches and was very groggy. I mean, that could have been a sin bin, couldn't it, Jonathan?
You do try and get your feet to get up, and but they're trying to make the game clean and eradicate dirty play. For me, if you kick out like that, you are going to catch them, because a lot of people in the tackle. Maybe the intent wasn't there, but it's very, very dangerous play, and maybe do they bring in sin binning, you know, a late challenge on a kick.
Well, Liam Farrell got done, didn't he, for the late challenge, and we'll have a look at that now.
I think when we look at this, the charge down for Liam Farrell, you know, and he gets sin binned for it, it can make the difference in tight games like this. And, you know, Key Senior stays on the field, albeit because he said it's accidental. Whichever way we look at that, Farrell's body positioning great to charge a kick down, so I'm sure they've looked at that. You know, he's up in the air, his arms aren't going towards the ball or the hips, and, you know, Wigan coped with it, to be fair, you know, whilst he was in the sin bin. But, you know, there's certainly have a case, and there's certainly a debating point within the game as to whether, you know, Key Senior should have gone to the bin for 10 minutes.
The one thing about the Rugby League, they aren't scared in making changes. Even if it's mid-season, you know, they will make the changes if it's going to benefit the game, which has always been, you know, a great aspect of Rugby League. I think if they see something, like, if you're in the air, having been in that position as a kicker, if a boy's in the air, you should try and avoid. You can avoid him, to be honest. You know, you can get away. He wasn't in a great position, but as Brian said, if he goes up with his hands up there, right, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I think he's committed. Before he kicks the ball, he's in the air.
It made it extremely difficult for Wigan. They actually survived the period of the sin binning without conceding a try. But let's hear from Michael Maguire, who is on the losing side, the losing coach for Wigan.
Michael, commiserations. You can't fault them for effort.